Trump's former attorney slash fixer, Michael Cohen, released a secret recording he made where he's talking to Trump and they discuss paying off Karen McDougal, who's a Playboy model that Trump had an affair with. So for those of you who don't remember, I think it was either a little before or a little after the Stormy Daniels thing was released that this former Playboy model, Karen McDougal, spoke about how she actually had like a long running affair with Donald Trump. Stormy Daniels, even according to her own story, it was like a one-night stand type thing. Karen McDougal, it was a long-term affair. So she had given a talk to CNN about that. Now, normally I wouldn't be talking about this kind of stuff because I don't care and it's not related to policy. And I think we focus too much on the private lives of politicians in the first place. But there actually is a reason why I'm bringing this up, and I'll explain that after we listen to this clip. So without further ado, listen to Michael Cohen talking to Donald Trump. They're discussing, Trump has no idea he's being recorded, but they're discussing a payment for Karen McDougal to basically shut her up so she doesn't, come out with her story. And this was when Trump was on the campaign trail, so he wasn't president yet. Now, there's going to be some stuff that's indecipherable, like you're not really sure exactly what they're saying, but that's okay, because when we come back, I'll break it down and tell you exactly who the people are that they're referring to and why this matters.
What's up, Mike?
Great poll, by the way. Seen it. Great poll.
Making progress.
Big time.
And you guys are a good guy.
Oh, Pastor Scott?
I can't believe he's... No, Pastor Scott. What's happening?
Oh, no. He's...
Can we use him anymore?
Oh, yeah. 100... No, you're talking about Mark Burns. We've told him to...
I don't mean that. Mark Burns, can we use him anymore?
No.
Richard Lefrak, I'm sorry, Richard Lefrak just called. He just had, we have a chance, he had an idea for you.
Okay. So we got served from the New York Times. I told you this regarding to unseal the divorce papers with Ivana. We're fighting it. Kasowitz is going
We
to...
should never be able to get that done.
Never. Kasowitz doesn't think they'll ever be able. They don't have a...
Give me your code, please.
They don't have a legitimate purpose.
And you have a woman that doesn't want him unsealed.
Correct.
So you've been handling it.
Yes, and it's all...
That's been going on for a while.
For about 2-3 weeks now.
All you have to do is delay it for...
Even after that, it's not going to ever be opened. There's no purpose for it. Told you about Charleston. I need to open up a company for the transfer of all of that info regarding our friend David, so that I'm going to do that right away. I've actually come up and I've spoken to Alan Weisselberg about how to set the whole thing up with
So what are we going to pay?
Funding. Yes, and it's all the stuff. All the stuff, because you never know where that company, you never know where he's going to be.
Gets hit by it.
Correct. So I'm all over that, and I spoke to Alan about it. When it comes time for the financing, which will be...
Listen, what financing?
We'll have to pay you. So
I'll pay with cash.
No. I got no.
Okay, so when he says our friend David, that refers to a guy named David Pecker. Hilarious name, let's be honest. Now, David Pecker is from the National Enquirer. He bought and then killed the Karen McDougal story. So they're discussing, money to pay him, to reimburse him. Now, Trump mentions pay in cash there. The reason why this is an issue that I'm bothering to talk about, because if you notice, if you follow the show for a long time, I haven't mentioned Stormy Daniels much or any of these affairs much. That might be a violation of campaign finance laws, because there have been allegations that not only did they basically pay off Karen McDougal or pay to kill this story, but they used campaign money in order to do so. Now, if that's the case, that's a violation of campaign finance laws, and that's a big deal. Now, the other point to make is apparently Cohen has about a dozen more tapes. So Trump tweeted about this and was basically like, so sad, who records their clients? And, they actually waived their attorney-client privilege, and then that's what allowed Cohen to release this, which is weird. It's like, why did you release it? Apparently they think like, hey, this exonerates Trump, or they just didn't know what they were doing when they were waiving their attorney-client privilege. But the average person listening to it, like when I first heard that, I was like, I don't understand. They don't say Karen McDougal. They don't say affair. They don't say any of the things that this story, allegedly indicates. But as soon as you know who David is, and you see how they're trying to set up a way to transfer a payment, then everything kind of falls into place, and you understand. Oh, okay, so that's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to pay somebody off to kill a story about an affair that Donald Trump had. So I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to see what happens here, but at the same time, I can't help but point out, even if they do get him on, a campaign finance violation over this, isn't it fucking weird that, okay, we can have multinational corporations and billionaires basically buy campaigns, buy politicians, and obviously over 90% of the time, when you raise the most money, you're more likely to win when it comes to Congress. So we have all these politicians being bought all around the country by corporations and by billionaires, and it's like the thing where we're really having a conversation about a violation of campaign finance laws involves an affair. Because it's totally cool if Goldman Sachs, buys you and basically gets you elected and then you do their bidding. That's totally fine. That's not corruption. That's not even the appearance of corruption, according to the Supreme Court. But if you use campaign finance funds to pay off somebody because you had an affair with them and you need to shut them up, well then, oh my God, how egregious is that? So again, I just find it weird, the things that blow up versus the things that don't blow up. Now, we're going to get to a story later, which I think is way more important and way more relevant than the Karen McDougal story in this tape. It's about how another court has ruled that the emoluments case against Donald Trump can proceed. The emoluments clause of the Constitution basically says a president can't get profit from foreign governments for obvious reasons. You don't want them doing the bidding of the foreign government and being bribed by the foreign government. So a court has ruled that there's a legitimate emoluments case against Trump. This is the second time it's been able to proceed. So that's a way bigger story, getting next to no coverage. In fact, I've seen no coverage in mainstream media. It is a story because it is campaign finance violations, potentially, so this is a story. This is getting way more coverage than the emoluments case. But I think the more interesting part is that what's on the other tapes. Because listen, I'm certainly of the belief that Trump is deeply corrupt and that his entire business empire is financed with mafia money, oligarch money, not just Russia, but also, other countries and other entrepreneurs and billionaires from around the world. So I think there's a significant amount of evidence that he's done a lot of fucked up stuff. Money laundering, corruption, you name it. So the stuff on the other tapes, if it implicates Trump in those things, well then, damn. Then we're going to be in a weird place. Because I don't know what happens and how you proceed. Even if you prove the worst case scenario, there's an open legal question as to whether or not you can indict a sitting president. So can you indict him? Can you not? I don't know. Nobody does. We haven't been in this position before. It's likely that you can only impeach the president. And then the question is, will a Republican Congress impeach Trump? Even if you prove a worst case scenario type situation, even if you have Trump on tape saying, we will do money laundering for X, Y, and Z, is that going to lead to impeachment? I don't know. But obviously the media is all over this stuff. I think not only because of the campaign finance violation angle of it, I think more because of the salacious angle of it. It's like, oh my God, a Playboy model and paying off and all that. And it does kind of blow up this idea. So many Republicans used to claim it matters so much, the character of a president. If you lie in a relationship, you'll lie to the country. In fact, we're going to get to stories later of the deep hypocrisy of Republicans on that issue. But this does show you that was all bullshit. As long as you're with them ideologically, as long as you're on their team, as long as you're on the red team, the Republican team, they don't care. They'll overlook whatever kind of adultery you've done or things that they would lash out at Democrats for. And let me be clear, like I said from the beginning, there's a reason why I haven't really covered the Stormy Daniels thing, or like very little coverage I've given that stuff. Again, because until you give me a real reason apart from he's an asshole and he cheats on his wife, which I already would have guessed anyway, then my take is that's private stuff and that has nothing to do with what they're doing policy-wise. So I see a hell of a lot of hypocrisy on the right where they don't have a standard. It's just like, oh, since it's Trump, I'll defend it. But if it was Bill Clinton, if it was Obama, oh my God, it would have been the end of the world and they would be screaming for impeachment over the affair itself. Never mind the campaign finance violations and stuff like that. So, we'll see what happens moving forward. And I'm curious to see what's on the rest of those tapes. But we're going to be in a weird place, even if you prove a worst case scenario, because I don't know what comes next. And I don't think anybody does. Can you indict him? I don't know. Can you impeach him? Yes, but will they? I don't think so. So it's like, oh, what is going on here? But needless to say, this got a tremendous amount of coverage, and we all knew on some level that, of course, Trump was involved in some shady shit, and this is just further verification of that.